Hey guys, in this video, it'll be very short, I just want to address a common question that I get. So alongside all these technique videos, I'll also be trying to answer some questions that I commonly get about the voice. So one of the main questions I get is, when is an appropriate time to start taking private voice lessons? So my answer to that is, you can start as early, I would say, learning the basics of how to sing. So learning how to breathe correctly, learning what kind of tensions to be aware of and maybe how to accomplish reducing those, how to form vowels, how to sing through, a phrase of vowels through a vocalese, right? And learning also the fundamentals of just music, how to read music, how to understand what you're looking at, and understanding, all those basics. You can start that as early, I think, as like 8 years old, because really, if you want to pursue music for the rest of your life, you don't have to learn how to read music, but it is really, really helpful, and it just broadens your appreciation. So it's not necessary, but if you want to start your kid super young, or if you're a young person watching, you can start early. You can start around 8 years old, but you won't be singing real, music for quite a while. And here's why. I don't recommend that people take private voice lessons until really they're about to be in high school. I think at that point, the voice is mature enough to start handling both the technique with some repertoire, with some songs. And that being said, for the youngsters who are learning those basic techniques that I talked about and learning how to maybe play the piano or read music, a great place for you to be is in a choir. At your school, maybe sometimes churches have kids' choirs. That's a really good place. Just know that choral technique and solo technique have a little bit of a difference. In choral technique, they might shape their vowels a little differently, like lots more rounded things, and in solo singing, we're a little more relaxed, just trying to stand out rather than blend in like in a choir. So that's little kids. So high schoolers, you can start learning these techniques as a solo singer and apply it to music, but you gotta be really careful. If you have any teacher who is pushing you to sing big kid rep, I like to call it, something that you should be approaching like in your 20s, you've got a problem. So everything you're singing at a high school age should be in a manageable range for you. So let's say you're a young lady and you happen to have a high voice and it's very easy for you to be up there. Fine, you can sing things that are up high, that's fine. But you gotta make sure that your teacher is really checking in with you and making sure you're not tired every single time you sing something high. Because if you are, you should not be up there. So most likely I recommend for most singers, male, female, in high school, to be doing things that are in mid-range, really just concentrating on the technique and learning how to do that well. And then in between doing some stuff, maybe with your school, doing a musical or something and preparing you for that so you can do it in a healthy way. And then I would say if you're really starting to pursue it on a higher advanced level in your 20s into your 30s, then your voice is at a point of maturity where you really can start digging into certain points of your voice and certain rep, and feel pretty confident if you set yourself up correctly that you're not going to hurt yourself permanently. That's the danger of doing it too early, because your voice does change so much, even throughout your 20s. My voice, I'm in my 30s, and my voice doesn't sound the same as when I was in my 20s. You've got to account for the fact that your voice is going to be changing. Hormones, puberty, all those things, they affect the voice. And just continuing to train your instrument. It gets bigger and better. So those are some things to keep in mind when you're considering taking private voice. Just to recap, I don't recommend super young kids doing private voice. I recommend choir and learning how to really read music and understand music and understanding some of the very basics. High school, I think it's appropriate to start, but be very careful since your voice is growing and you don't want to do any permanent damage. Same for your 20s. You don't want to do any permanent damage, but you should have prepped enough to that point that you can feel more confident that your voice is mature enough that you can really sit into a certain repertoire of music and feel comfortable. So that's my take, my 2 cents. I hope that's helpful for you and answers that question for some of you out there.